trigger warning as we're about to discuss Omega X's tell-all press conference that may include some uncomfortable details. But let's rewind to what happened right after Omega X's CEO finally stepped down. SBS then came out with even more details regarding her abuse, including forcing the members to perform even though they tested positive for COVID, putting them and everyone around them in danger. It was also said that the company is currently trying to make each member pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in unpaid fees. When SBS contacted the company about these new accusations, they dismissed them by saying they already apologized and that the CEO has already stepped down. When they contacted the former CEO herself, all she said was that she was very sick at the moment and asked if they could call back later. However, like I mentioned up top, Omega X then announced a tell-all press conference that took place last night. Just a side note, fellow boy group Just B were also scheduled to make a comeback on the exact same day. However, it was decided that they would actually postpone their showcase in solidarity with Omega X so that more press could attend the conference instead. For those who don't know, not only do the two groups have members who used to participate in the same survival show and debut together in the group 1-9, but Just B and Omega X actually debuted on the same day, which also explains the bond they feel with one another. Along with all the press that showed up, the boys' legal counsels were present and their fans were there to support as well. Now, I'm going to try my best to boil down the main significant takeaways from this press conference. The representatives started by revealing that they told the agency they will be terminating the members' contracts, pressing charges, and demanding compensation. The reason the guys stayed in this situation was because they felt as though this was their last chance to achieve their dreams. The CEO would exploit that by making them grovel to stay in the group, threaten their lives, and even her own. Member Jaehan then revealed some of the harassment they endured, including being forced to drink alcohol at gatherings, otherwise there would be no album, and being inappropriately touched during practices, along with sexual remarks. Their attorney confirmed that there is video evidence of this sexual harassment. They also confirmed that the members are currently going through medical and psychiatric treatments. The CEO would call them so much that even the sound of a phone's vibration triggers anxiety in some of the members that now induce panic attacks. Member Taedong even broke down into tears after making his own statements. The guys make it clear that they hope the situation changes how companies treat artists or employees because they believe there are more things going on like this as we speak. The members promised to communicate freely with the fans on their new social media accounts throughout this lawsuit, and they even ended with a message in English.
I wanted to say we're really proud of you for it, and the hashtag Protect Omega X that you all made it help us really be better in this bad situation. So I'm really thankful for that, and I promise that we'll never give up. Thank you so much for it.
Now, because I waited for the Omega X press conference, you've probably already seen all the breaking headlines about the crazy music bank that took place in Chile, but let's actually break down what happened. Last weekend, Music Bank returned to Chile for the first time in 3 years to an arena with almost 50,000 fans. Unfortunately, when the show started, it had already began to rain, lasting through STAYC and the boys' performances. Obviously, this created hazardous conditions on stage where you can see members from both groups slipping and falling. By the time IDOL got on stage, not only did the rain get so bad to where the girls could barely open their eyes, it actually started to hail. There was one moment where Shuwa just could not keep her balance and took a bad looking fall. Thankfully, footage of the girls going backstage afterwards showed that her and the rest of the girls were okay. A staff member later reassured fans that the girls were treated with the utmost care once they got back there. IDOL were apparently the ones who insisted they still wanted to go out there for the fans, but obviously didn't know it was going to start hailing, and after IDOL had to return backstage, the entire show was eventually cancelled, meaning TXT, ATEEZ, and NCT Dream did not get to perform. Although all the artists did come out on stage later on to interact with the fans, both NCT's Jisung and STAYC's Seon messaged the same thing afterward about seeing people crying in the crowd but feeling bad because they couldn't do anything about it. However, I think we can all agree that stopping that show was absolutely the right decision for everybody there. One of, if not the craziest rained out K-pop K-pop stages I've ever seen. I hope fans that were there get a chance to see these artists again, though this week we got heartbreaking news about two groups that none of us will get to see again. The first was AI Grand Korea announcing that D-Crunch has officially disbanded. Over the last couple of years, they had several members leaving, with the latest being Dylan, who left as recent as last month. The second seemed to come a little more out of nowhere, as BVNDIT has now officially disbanded after only 3 years. For those who don't know, BVNDIT was the first girl group under MNH Entertainment, who notably also manages Chang'e. Finally, the other day, an exclusive report came out stating that an industry insider has revealed that iKON's Bobby will not be renewing his contract and leaving YG Entertainment. While this shook fans coming out of nowhere and on the back of the Treasure departure announcement, at the same time it would make sense as he debuted in iKON 7 years ago back in 2015, and he just became a husband and father. However, before we could speculate too much further about the future of Bobby and iKON, this news blew up to the point where YG Entertainment came out quickly denying the report, stating there is still time on his contract without elaborating any further. And with that sigh of relief, as always, let's get into the positive things that we can celebrate in K-pop. This week, Brave Girl's MinYoung took to her Instagram, asking people to help find her dog, who ran off during a walk due to being frightened by passing cars. She posted all the necessary information, and somehow, after 7 hours, MinYoung updated everyone that an anonymous fan had miraculously found her dog. Another cool story that was revealed this week kind of changes the way we look at Twice's Feel Special, a song that fans like myself have an emotional attachment to, as it came out during a time where Twice was dealing with a lot of things, but maybe most notably, it was the first time we saw Mina after her long hiatus. Even the photos for that comeback centered around Mina. The song, written by JYP, was initially said to give people hope and comfort by reminding them they weren't alone, but recently on CNN Brazil, JYP himself revealed that he actually wrote the song after seeing how the members comforted Sana through that period of time and how much love they had for each other. And if you rewatch the music video, it actually does end with a lingering shot of Sana. For those who don't remember, Sana was getting a lot of backlash for a period of time in 2019, even showing up to a music bank recording in tears. That's something we talked in lengths about in past videos if you want to know the details. JYP said he even wrote the lyrics down on a piece of paper, framed it, and gave it to Sana for whenever she needs that reminder. As much criticism as JYP Entertainment, the company, or their management divisions get, we do quite often see artists praise or defend Park Jin-young himself on occasions, and sometimes even the company. I mean, not only did Twice decide to re-sign with JYP, which was huge, this is what GOT7's Mark had to say when a fan yelled this out.
And no. Hey. If JYP was not here, I would not be here. Okay?
While we're on the topic of former and current JYP artists making headlines this week, people have also been talking about Stray Kids Bangchan. Throughout this year, we've brought up many examples of artists literally stopping their concert to help and save fans, including a very passionate Wonho. Most recently, we saw NCT 127 try to help fans and ultimately had to stop the show early due to reportedly 30 people having passed out and needing medical attention. Well, along with everyone we've mentioned doing this in 2022, people are also now talking about Bangchan doing what he could at Stray Kids' recent Indonesia concert. Right when he noticed a fan had passed out, while medical staff quickly made their way to that fan, you see Bangchan stop what he was doing, grab a fan, like an actual fan, not a person, brought it over, pointed in their direction, and turned it up as the person was getting the aid they needed. Another reason I thought I'd bring this up was so that if any of you guys are going to a concert or event, please remember,
promise me one thing. Just one thing. Just one thing, okay? I want you guys to have fun, and we'll be having fun too. But please, for us, for you guys as well, be careful, okay?
all 7 members of Dreamcatcher have renewed their contracts, meaning we are getting more music and many more years with these girls. There have actually been so many anniversaries to celebrate since the last video. Let's start with a kind of anniversary we don't usually get to talk about, because apparently Girls' Generation SOOYOUNG and actor Jung Kyung-ho have already been dating for 10 years. By the way, I love that they're one of the couples normalizing being open about these kinds of things. It's also great to see some of the LOVELYZ girls still get together to celebrate their 8th anniversary. How has it already been a year since BILLIE debuted? Their last comeback with Ring My Bell is probably my favorite so far. VICTON is a group who has been through a lot this year, but hopefully their 6th anniversary can be a fresh start for them and their fans. MOMOLAND is also celebrating their 6th anniversary. I hope we get a comeback soon, because even the Yummy Yummy Love single, which I thought was great by the way, was almost a year ago. And happy 2nd anniversary to STAYC, who, if you follow me on any other social media, you know how much I love them. And you know what? Here's a good thing that came out of that recent music bank. It's that time of the year, it's award season, and one of my favorite things at these shows is seeing interactions between artists we don't usually get to see. Like Idol's Oogie sitting down and immediately chatting with Seulgi while Joy and Wendy are just smiling watching them. I love that when Idol's name was called for an award, Seulgi was the first one she turned to. But also check out this wholesome reaction when 2nd generation idol FX's Luna is struck when one of her 1st generation idols, fellow SM alum Fly to the Sky's Brian, attended her Broadway musical. Congrats to BTS for making history a couple of times this week. First of all, not only have they been nominated for multiple Grammys this year with 3, but this is their 3rd year in a row being nominated, the first Korean group to do so. BTS also now has the first album ever in South Korean history to surpass 5 million sales on Circle Chart. Congrats to BLACKPINK as well, who also made history by having the first ever album by a girl group to surpass 2 million sales. And speaking of BLACKPINK, I'm gonna echo Jisoo's sentiments because I cannot believe this is real.